everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Paradise and I'll be leading you through a gentle yoga practice. If you have yoga blocks, feel free to grab them. They might come in handy, and or a yoga blanket. Of course, if you don't have blocks, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to grab a thick book or anything like that would do it, and just really any old blanket. All right, let's get started. We're going to take a few moments here just to arrive on our mats. So if you would, please close your eyes down, roll the shoulders back, lift through the heart, and just give yourself a few moments to find your breath. Deep, full breath in, and a full breath out. Again, take a deep, full breath in. Let's exhale this one through pursed lips. One more, just like that. Big breath in. Exhale like you're blowing out through a straw. And just allow yourself to breathe naturally now. And as you sit here breathing, begin to notice. We'll start with a physical scan, noticing body head to toe. A moment to search for sensation. And oftentimes as we do this, there's stories that come up. Why it is that we feel a certain way. If you notice that happening for you, as much as you can, try to drop the story. Welcome yourself onto your mat just as you are right now. Every time you catch your mind going somewhere else, wandering, call it back to breath. Call it back to body. Take a moment and tune into your mind. Notice if the mind is busy or sluggish, or maybe something in between. Notice if there's a lot of anticipation here to move and get going, or perhaps this is a welcome pause. And again, whatever it is that you're noticing, make some space and allow for it to be. Now let's bring our palms together at our heart space. Here we'll press our palms against one another and press our thumb knuckles into sternum and sternum back into thumbs as we bow our mind in. And as we do this, we'll take a moment to connect to our heart space, our current emotional state. How are you feeling in your heart in this moment? And again, whatever it is you're noticing, make space. If you like working with an intention in your practice, I welcome you to add that piece in now. This could also be a prayer, an offering, a dedication of sorts. We'll just take a few more breaths here. And then, again, a deep breath in, as if you're drawing intention into the very center of you, and a full breath out, sending it out, sharing it with the universe. As you're ready, release your hands and open your eyes. All right, once again, welcome to your practice. Let's get started. If you would, come onto your back. If you were sitting on a blanket, go ahead and move that over to the side and come onto your back body. And here, just give yourself a moment or two to arrive and land here. I often like to start with a big good morning stretch. We'll reach fingertips away from the toes. On an exhale, you might hug your knees into your belly and give yourself a little squeeze, maybe a little rock side to side. And then we'll just take a moment, and like I said, we'll just lay on the earth like a mini Shavasana. So for those of you who are familiar with this practice, Shavasana is typically a pose we do near the end. Well, here we'll just take a moment and feel our bodies supported by the earth. Palms open, feet rolling open, breath moving in and out of the body. And then once again, all together, let's reach fingertips away from the toes. Big exhale as you hug in. And then this time we'll release our left foot down onto the earth and we'll interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Let's just give our knee joint a little bit of love here. So as you inhale, we'll extend through the right leg. As you exhale, bend into your right knee. Nice and slow, moving with breath. We'll inhale to extend the right leg. Exhale, bend into your right knee. One more, just like that. Inhale, extend and hold. And now let's start to breathe into our ankle. So we'll just start to kind of point and flex the toes here. You might move the toes in little circles. They might move in one direction and the other. Just giving as much of our attention as we can to our ankle joint. And then let's go ahead and cross right ankle over that left thigh, left knee. Big flex in your right foot. And for some of us, this may be plenty of sensation in this outer right hip. Or you might be able to draw this left knee in towards the belly, reaching through, grabbing behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin, really whatever's available to you. And we'll just take a few moments here to breathe into the outer right hip. Deep, full breath in. And full breath out. Again, deep, full breath in. And a full breath out. Let's do that one more time. Deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then we'll go ahead and release the bind of the left foot if you're bound. And then we're gonna take this right foot and we're actually gonna nestle it right underneath the left knee. So it's like you're doing a butterfly pose just on the right side. And here you have a little wiggle room, a little option to play. So depending on what's going on in your right thigh, we're looking for a nice gentle stretch here. You might need to adjust your right foot. So some of us might be able to get a little bit more sensation by having this foot closer to the left ankle or heel, or maybe a little bit closer towards the left glute. This might also work if you take the foot a little bit further to the right or to the left. And some of us might even need to reach down and grab for the right foot. Now there's this, I think, idea for some of us that more is always better, but that's not necessarily the case in yoga. We're not trying to get our maximum, stretch every single time we find a shape. We're just trying to feel some gentle opening. That first moment you start to feel something. We're working in the subtle body here. So deep breath in and a full breath out. We'll do that again. Big inhale and exhale. And then let's go ahead and release right foot next to left. And just take a moment here and pause. And without any hurry or rush, as you feel ready, we'll hug the left leg in, interlace the fingers behind that left thigh, and we'll just start to move into our knee joint here. So I'd like to remind you that the secret sauce to our yoga practice is the breath. Without the breath, we would just simply be stretching. So as much as you can, try to incorporate breath and movement. So here we inhale to extend the leg and exhale to bend into the knee. Next time you have that left leg extended, let's hold there and we'll start to work into the ankle. And again, as a reminder, you might just point, flex the toes, you might move the toes in circles, they might move in one direction or both. We're trying to be as attentive to our bodies here as possible. We'll take another big breath. Exhale, let it go. And then when you're ready, we'll take left ankle over the right knee, right thigh. Now you might stay here. This might be plenty of sensation for you on that left side, or you might hug the right leg in and reach through and grab whatever is available to you. And then try to come alive here. So be attentive even to your toes. Yeah. I want to feel our whole bodies as we move through our practice. And continue to breathe into sensation. Every time we breathe in, we have opportunity to find a little bit more space in the body. And every time we breathe out, to release and let go of some tension, something that's not serving us. We'll take one more big breath here. And then as you exhale, release the bind of the hands and release that right foot down if it's lifted. And we'll take this left foot now and nestle it underneath the right knee. Again, the left knee is just going to simply fall open. And we're just looking for a nice gentle stretch here in the front of the left thigh. Feel free to play with the position of the left foot and see where this shape makes the most sense for your body. All our bodies are different from one another. That's why we have so many different variations in our postures and our practice, modifications and tools that we can use to meet our bodies wherever they are in any given day. Let's again find a big breath here. And exhale, let it go. We'll take one more here in this shape. And exhale, release. And then as you're ready, let's once again release and reach long, fingertips away from the toes. Get as long as you can. Exhale, knees hug in. Give yourself another little squeeze, a little bit of rocking side to side. We're gonna do a couple more things here on our backs and then we'll come on up. Last little bit is going to be some hip mobility and hip strengthening work here. So as you're ready, go ahead and reset that left foot down and extend your right leg nice and long towards the sky. And then this time we're going to extend the left leg long as well. Now we want to keep both legs super engaged here. I'm hugging muscles to bones and I'm flexing and sending energy out both through my right and left heel. You might have noticed as I extended my left leg, my right leg moved away from me. That's perfectly natural and normal, and that's fine. And this is already a lot of work here for this right hip. We're gonna take another big breath here. As you exhale, you're gonna open this right leg out to the right. So this is a series that we often see in yoga practice and we do with a strap. I'm inviting you to not grab on today, just to kind of leave the hands out of it and let your hip do the work here. Take another big breath in and out. With an inhale, you're gonna come on up through center. As you exhale, we're gonna take this leg across the body. Now, some of us might be able to take this foot all the way down to the earth, and if that's the case for you, go ahead and keep it lifting off of the ground. Again, we're working to strengthen. And some of us might start to feel a little bit of shaking here in this shape. Perfectly normal. Big inhale, come on up. Exhale, let's go ahead and bend into both knees. Give yourself a little squeeze and a little rock. Rocking's very soothing to our nervous system, so feel free to rock yourself anytime you need a moment to kind of pause and reset. All right, let's do this over on the left side. So we'll set right foot down, we'll extend through the left leg, nice and active here in this left leg. The toes are drawing down towards you. And then as you feel ready, let's extend through the right leg. Again, hugging muscles to bones, sending energy out as much as we can through the heels of both feet. Big breath in and a full breath out. We'll take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, let's go ahead and open this left leg out to the left. We'll hold, breathe into this. You got this. One more big breath in And let it go. On an inhale, come on up through center. And as you exhale, we'll come across the body so that the outer left hip now gets the work. I'm still extending and reaching out through my right heel. Sometimes that right leg so far away from us, out of sight, out of mind. Big inhale, come on up. Exhale again, the knees hug in. So in our practice, even when we can't see limbs, we want to stay connected, alive and awake in every cell of the body. All right, lovely. Let's go ahead and bring the hands back behind the thighs. We're going to slowly find our way up to a seat. Maybe try to get a little bit of work in the core here as well. Now, some of us might not be able to do this, but we're going to try rocking and rolling on the spine. If this does not feel good in your body, no big deal, no problem. Just come on up to have a seat. And we're going to meet in what we call Navasana or boat pose. So in boat pose, we have some options. We always have options. We can release the feet down onto the earth, or they might stay hovering. You might release the fingertips here. And we want to try to avoid having a sinking boat. So as much as you can, lift up through the heart. If that means grabbing on, that's okay, no big deal. We really want to feel this work in the belly. And sometimes releasing might look great, but then it's the hip flexors that start to kind of talk to us and get the work. And that's not what we want here. We really want to work into our core. So meet yourself wherever you are on your mat in this moment. And make sure you're breathing. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. One more inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Lovely. And then let's go ahead and release those hip flexors in case they did get involved. We're going to set the feet down wider than the hips here. So mat's distance wide. We'll take a deep full inhale here. As you exhale, the knees will wash over to the right. Inhale up through center, and then exhale, knees over to the left. We'll do that one more time. Inhale up through center. Exhale, knees wash over to the right. Let's reach back with the left fingertips. And here, feel a nice long stretch from your left fingertips to the outer left hip. With an inhale, come on back through center. And then exhale over to the other side. Again, we'll add in a reach, reaching through the right fingertips. Big breath here. And then we'll come on back through center. All right, lovely. Let's go ahead and find our way into a tabletop position now. So hands and knees. And if the knees are sensitive or talking to you, feel free to add a blanket underneath. I'll go ahead and do that. You know, I often joke in my yoga classes, but this is no joke. We just get 2 knees for our whole lives, so we want to take care of them. No shame in that. So we'll pad the knees, and here we'll spread the fingers out nice and wide. So we want to find this nice alignment of having our wrist in line with the elbows and the shoulders, and the knees right in line with the hips. And then as you're ready, let's just start to move a little bit into our spine. We'll inhale to lift the heart and the tail, let the belly soften down towards the ground. As you exhale, dome and round your back. Press the ground away from you. Think Halloween cat. Again, as you inhale, we'll arch the back, lift the heart, lift your tailbone. Exhale, dome and round your spine. Press the ground away from you. One more. Inhale, we find cow pose. Exhale, we find cat. And then we'll come into a neutral spine. So that's that space right there in between. All right, we're gonna work a little bit more into the core here. So we'll start with taking this right leg back. Now your right toes can stay on the earth as I'm showing here, or you might lift through the right leg. And something that tends to happen as we do this is either this right hip opens up or we start to sink into the low back. So notice if that's happening for you, and see as much as you can, try to engage the belly and kick back through the right heel. Try to keep your hips nice and level here. Now this is already a lot of work for the core, so you might stay here, or if you'd like, you can add in a reach of the left arm. Take another big breath in, and then exhale, release, and let it go. Let's come on over to the other side again. Re-engage, find that nice alignment here, and as you're ready, we'll extend the left leg long. Remember, these toes are welcome to stay on the earth, or you might lift the leg, and then really thinking about hugging that belly in. Option 2, float the right arm here. Deep breath in, and then exhale, go ahead and release. All right, let's add a little bit of twisting into our spine. So if you would, we'll take the left hand to the center of the mat. With an inhale, we can always take right hand to hip, or if you like, you might reach long through the right fingertips. As you exhale, reach through underneath the left armpit, as if you're gonna land onto the back of your right shoulder, but don't. And then again, inhale, reach, open up, extend and expand over to the right. As you exhale, reach underneath the left armpit. One more here. And this time we will land onto the back of this right shoulder. Our right cheek finds the earth. And we'll just take a moment or two here to breathe into our back body. Nice twist here. Big breath in. And a full breath out. On your next inhale, go ahead and press back into your left palm. Again, your right hand can find the hip, or you might reach those fingertips up towards the sky. As you exhale, we'll release down. Let's do this over on the other side. So my right hand is right under my nose, left hand to hip or to sky. Let's open up, big breath in. Exhale, reach, reach, reach as far as you can. Again, inhale, open up to the left. Exhale, reach through as far as you can. One more here. We'll reach through in a moment here to land onto the back of this left shoulder. Let your left cheek find the earth and find your breath. Big breath in and a full breath out. Again, inhale here and exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, we'll press back into our right palm. We'll once again expand, open to the left. Exhale, release, and let it go. And then as you're ready, let's go ahead and come all the way down onto our bellies. We're gonna do a little bit more work here for our neck and shoulders here in what we call wild cobra. So in wild cobra, I'm on my fingertips, and my fingertips are slightly below the shoulders. The palms of your hands are lifted off the ground. It's like you've got something precious underneath your hands and you don't want to smush it. The elbows are bright here, and as you inhale, we lift up, squeezing shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, we'll lower down, right shoulder, right ear, and here, take your gaze towards the left shoulder. Inhale, come on up through center. Let's exhale over to the other side. So left shoulder, left ear, come down as we take our gaze over to the right. Again, inhale, come on up through center. Exhale, right shoulder, right ear, move down towards the earth. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, come on back up through center. Let's hold here for a moment and work on getting strong in our back body. So now here, instead of thinking about lifting up, I'd like for you to think about lifting out. The crown of your head as far forward as you can get it, and you might even lift your toes off the ground. You can float the fingers and hug the elbows in. A little bit more work for the back body. You could even put a bend into your knees to work on strengthening your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs, as you breathe here. One more big breath in. Exhale, release, and let it go. On your next inhale, let's press back into child's pose. This is probably one of my favorite postures. So knees wide, big toes come to touch for this expression of the pose, and we'll send the hips as far back as you can. You might notice I'm rocking a little bit side to side. Again, just trying to soothe the body here as we move into this lovely posture here. Forehead down to the earth, if you can manage. If not, feel free to take a blanket or a block underneath the forehead. We want this to be a restful posture here. And then find your breath in your back body. So the majority of your breath capacity, actually 60% of it, does live in the back body. See if you can find that here, if you can access that, and take a deep breath in. As you exhale, imagine the sternum moving a little closer towards the ground. We'll do that one more time. Deep, full breath in and a full breath out. On your next inhale, let's walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. We're going to stretch our left side body now. Reach as far as you can with your left fingertips. Draw your left hip crease back. And notice if your left shoulder is lifted, see if you can draw it down towards the ground. And here, a deep mindful breath from left armpit to left waist. Big breath in. Full breath out. On your next inhale, we'll come back through center and all the way over to the other side, reaching as far as you can with the right fingertips, drawing that right hip crease as far back as you can. Again, a deep mindful breath into the whole right side. And a full breath out. On your next inhale, come on back through center. Give yourself a little moment to pause here. And then when you're ready, let's meet in a downward facing dog. So for this pose, we're gonna curl the toes under, lift our knees. Again, the hands are at least shoulders distance apart, if not a little bit wider. And you could move that blanket out of the way now if you have been using it. You won't need it for a bit. So I'll go ahead and scooch that out of the way. And then here we are. So we're essentially trying to make an upside down V with our bodies. It's perfectly fine if your heels are floating off of the mat. And it's perfectly fine, especially this early in our practice, if your knees stay bent. Yeah, we want to try to get as much length in our spine as we can. And then let's pedal through the feet here. So we'll bend generously into one knee as we take the opposite heel down to the ground, and then we'll switch without any hurry or rush, moving and breathing into our bodies. And then a moment just to kind of be nice and still here. Take a big breath in. An open mouth exhale, let it go. All right, let's go ahead and find our way to the top of the mat. We're gonna add in a little bit of more functional hip movement here. So we're gonna take our right foot and step it all the way over to the left, and then our left foot and step it all the way over to the right. And we'll just kind of keep going in this way until we can't anymore. This little zigzag walk to the top of the mat, and at some point you'll just have to step one foot next to the other. And once you do make it to the top of your mat, let's press into our thighs, half forward fold here, reaching crown of the head away from the tailbone. Exhale to release and let go. And let's find a ragdoll shape here. So we'll just bend into the knees generously, let the head hang heavy. You might grab opposite elbows, or you might just let the arms dangle. You can play a bit with your weight here, noticing if you are carrying most of the weight into the balls of the feet or the heels. Maybe it's your right foot, left foot. And then as much as you can, try to even things out. Again, let your head hang nice and heavy. Take a deep, full breath in and a full breath out. And then as you're ready, let's slowly, one vertebra at a time, we'll lift up, really taking as much time as we need, as we'd like. Finding our way all the way up into standing, and here we are. So at the top of the mat, we want to find Tadasana. Tadasana means mountain pose. And in this shape, we have the heels right underneath our sitting bones. Again, our muscles are active. We're really attentive to the body. We're lifting up as much as we can, particularly in the pelvic floor. Working with our Mula Bandha or our root lock. We're also drawing the navel and engaging our core, working with our Uddiyana Bandha or our navel lock. Let's pick the shoulders up for a breath in, roll them back and down, let your heart lift. Stay nice and proud here, crown of the head reaching for the sky. With a big inhale, let's take the arms out and up, reach. Grab onto your left wrist, give yourself a little tug over to the right. Again, inhale, come on back up and reach. Let's exhale over to the other side. Inhale, come on back up. Let's once again reach. Exhale, cactus the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. Open up the heart. Inhale, once again, we'll reach up. Exhale, release the arms down. We're gonna work into a warrior one shape now. We're gonna take our left leg back and keep our right leg forward, but feel free to adjust your feet. Generally speaking, a wider stance is gonna feel a little bit more stable here for you. And really thinking about how it is that our feet are placed on the earth. So we really want to try to feel all four corners of both of our feet. Find a little lift in the arches here. Again, thinking about activating through the legs. So as you inhale here, we're going to bend into the right knee. Your arms are going to come up to a big V. And then as you exhale, you'll release. Let's do that again. Inhale. This is Warrior One or Virabhadrasana One. Exhale, we'll release. We'll do that 2 more times to hold. So we'll inhale and exhale. And this last one, we're going to come into our Warrior One and hold here. Now take a deep, full breath in. As you exhale, we're going to bring the hands onto the sacrum, back behind you, extend through the front leg. We'll lean forward ever so slightly. And then again, inhale, bend into your right knee, arms out to a V. Exhale, we come, this is Parsvottanasana or pyramid pose. Hands onto the sacrum as we extend through the front leg. We'll do that 1 more time. Inhale up and exhale. Folding over this extended leg. Let's hold and breathe here. Now you might keep the hands on the sacrum, or if you like, you might walk the hands down the front thigh and let that help and support you here. Take 1 more deep, full breath wherever you are. And a full breath out. On your next inhale, let's bend back into the right knee. We'll find our way back into our Warrior One. And then go ahead and step your left leg forward and give yourself a moment to adjust and shift as you need to, maybe even march it out. And when you're ready, again, work to find Tadasana or mountain pose. Heels sitting bones distance apart, legs active, muscles hugging to bones. Our bandhas, our locks are engaged, and the heart is shining forward, nice and proud. And you might take a moment here to notice, see if you can feel any difference from your right side to the left, really watching yourself as you move through your practice. And then when you are ready, let's go ahead and take this right foot back. Again, I like to take my feet a little bit wider than hips distance for these asymmetrical poses, just to give myself a little bit more stability. That's also a good idea if you have any kind of SI pain that you tend to work with. And really mindful about how it is that our feet are on the earth here. So really trying to lift up through the arches, hugging muscles to bones, trying to find that all those mountain qualities, all those Tadasana qualities, even in this shape. All right, we'll move dynamically into this. I like to start with my left leg long, and then as you inhale, you'll bend into the left knee, take the arms out to a big V, and then exhale to release. Let's do that a couple more times. Again, inhale, bend into your front knee, arms out to a big V, and exhale, release. 2 more to hold. Inhale, come on up, and exhale down. This will be our last one. Inhale, Warrior One, Virabhadrasana One, and hold. Take another inhale here. We'll now transition into pyramid pose as we extend through the left leg, hands onto the sacrum, spine long, crown of the head forward. Again, inhale, bend into your front knee, find your Warrior One. Exhale, let's extend through that front leg, hands onto the sacrum. We'll do just 1 more of these to hold. Inhale, find Virabhadrasana One. Exhale, Parsvottanasana, and hold here. Again, hands are welcome to stay at the sacrum or to come onto this left thigh. Give yourself a little bit more support. We'll take another big breath in, breathing into our hamstrings, full breath out. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and bend back into that front knee, and we'll step the right leg forward. Feel free to shake it out a bit. All right, we're gonna do 1 more thing standing here before we come right back down to the mat and rest. We're gonna take a nice wide stance now on our mat. So here we wanna have the feet about a leg's distance apart. And the toes, again, spread out nice and wide. We're lifting through the arches. Muscles are hugging to bones. You're lifting up through your bandhas. And with a big inhale, let's take the arms out and up. Exhale, let's go ahead and cactus the arms once again, opening up our chest. And then we'll bring the hands onto the hips. Inhale, lift your heart. You might even send the hips slightly forward. As you exhale, bend into your knees to bow forward. And then here you can bring your hands down to the ground, or this is where our blocks can come in nice and handy. You might take the hands down to a block. And then you might bend into one knee and the other. And these can stay quite high, or they can go a little bit lower, just depending on what feels best in your body. We're working to open up the thigh muscles as well as the inner thigh, the adductors here. So just a little bit of side to side. And then the next time you're over on this right side, let's hold here. So we're gonna bend into our right knee, left leg stays extended, and we're just gonna take a deep, full breath in and a full breath out. On your next inhale, come on back up through center. Exhale over to the other side, bending into the left knee, just enough to feel a nice stretch along the inside of the right thigh. And let's together take a deep breath in and a full breath out. On your next inhale, come on back through center. You can utilize the block for this. If the hand readily, easily touches the ground, you might take the hand to the earth. I'm gonna take my right palm right underneath my nose. I'm gonna take my left hand to my hip. Now think about growing your spine like a half forward fold here as you breathe in. Exhale, roll your left shoulder back as you press into the earth or the block to help you find a little bit more rotation here in the torso. Again, grow the spine. Think about crown reaching away from the tailbone as you inhale. Exhale, press into your bottom hand. Try to find a little bit more rotation. You might even extend through the arm. And it's perfectly fine if the arm is just reaching out from the shoulder and not reaching all the way up to the sky. It's not at 12 o'clock. We want to move in an authentic way. And if that means that the arm is reaching to the side instead, that's perfectly fine. Take another big breath here and exhale, release. Let's come over to the other side. So left hand right underneath your nose here, right hand to hip. On an inhale, we look for extension in the spine. As you exhale, you'll roll your right shoulder back. Remember, if neck and shoulders are talking to you, it might feel best just to keep the hand on the hip. That's perfectly fine. As you inhale, we find a little bit more length. Exhale, maybe a little bit of a deeper twist. You might extend through the arm, or you might keep the arm out of it. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, unwind, release, let it go. Bend into your knees, bring your hands to your hips. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, taking as much time as you need. And this is a fun one. We'll just heel toe our feet in towards one another to give our ankles a little bit of extra work, a little bit of love. And then here, if you like, you might take some high knees, get a little bit more core out of this as we come back to the top of the mat. Find again, heels sitting bones distance apart. Let's bring palms together at the heart. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, send the hips back as if you're about to sit into a chair for chair pose, and then come on back up. Again, take a big breath in. Exhale, send the hips back, bend into your knees, and then come on back up. One more big breath in. Exhale, bend into your knees. Let's hold here. Let's get strong in our legs. Big inhale. Full exhale. Make sure you can see your toes. If not, scooch those knees out of the way. Again, take an inhale. Notice if you're sinking into your low back, see if you can engage your belly, support yourself there. On your next inhale, come on up, release, shake it out. All right, great work. It's time for us to rest. We're gonna do a little bit of twisting before we do take Shavasana. So if you would come on back down onto your mat with me. We're just gonna lay down just as we began. And here, we'll once again take a big good morning stretch. Fingertips away from the toes. Get as long as you can. Exhale, hug your knees into your belly. Give yourself a little squeeze, rock yourself a bit side to side. And thank yourself here for taking time to tend to your body. And then as you're ready, let's go ahead and release the feet down onto the ground. We're gonna press into our feet, pick our hips up and scooch them over to the right side of the mat, slightly right of our shoulders. We're gonna hug the knees into the belly and let them fall over to the left. Here you can take your right arm over to the right, and you might even look over your right shoulder for your right thumb to let your neck get a little stretch. Big breath in, and a full breath out. On an inhale, come on back up through center. Let's go ahead and press into our feet. We'll now scooch our hips over to the left side of the mat, slightly left of the shoulders. Hug these knees into the belly and then over to the right. We make this little maneuver here of the hips to find a little bit of a healthier and better alignment for the spine before we twist. And then again, if you like, you can take your gaze over your left shoulder, taking a peek at your left thumb. And we find our breath in this shape. On your next inhale, come on back up through center. Go ahead and press into your feet. Make sure your hips and shoulders are back in the same line. You might find what we call happy baby. You can modify by hugging the knees in towards the armpits, or you might flex the feet, point them to the sky. You could reach the insides of the knees for the heels here, or you might even grab onto the outsides of the feet. Just depends on what feels best in your body. And then as you're ready, please release, let go. Let the legs extend nice and long. Feet roll open. Now, some of us might feel a little pain here in our low back when we have the legs extended long. And we do really want this last posture to be as restful as possible. And so if you're in that camp, there's a lot of us there. You can always bend the knees and let the knees fall in towards one another. The arms come alongside of the body, the palms face up. So any position with the legs that feels comfortable for you. In fact, if you have a pillow or that blanket, you might even stick that under the knees here. And then close the eyes down and just give yourself a few minutes here for integration. So this pose is just as important as all the others, as it allows for our body to digest everything we were doing before we got here. I'm going to leave you in silence for a couple of minutes, and then I'll bring you back up from Shavasana as it's time. So if you have the gift of time, I invite you to stay in this pose longer. For those of us that need to get on with our day, slowly begin to find your way back to body via breath. You might simply notice the body breathing you here. And then start to wake your body, adding small movements, perhaps starting in your fingers, your toes. It may feel good to roll through wrists and ankles. It may feel good to reach long once again, fingertips away from the toes. It may feel good to hug your knees into your belly and give yourself a squeeze. Again, feel free to rock yourself a bit here. Soothe yourself. And we might take a moment and find our way onto our side body in the fetal pose. And then as you are ready, let's go ahead and press back up to a seat. And here we'll meet just as we began. Palms together at our hearts, minds bowed in. A moment here for gratitude to you for taking time for you, to breath for keeping us alive, for Body for carrying us through life, and the teachings for bringing us together. Thank you all so much for joining me today.